What's up, guys? Excuse me for being a little bit sick, bro. I don't know, it's just a little bit sick. I'm not even that sick, but it's just a little bit of a cold or whatever. But boys, I hit complacency. I hit a point of being complacent, right? And I'm in a situation right now where I know I'm not exerting effort every single day towards my goals. I know I'm not exerting the most amount of effort. You know, like it, most of my day, what it seems like right now, it's just I'm doing the habits. I'm making the videos. I made some good progress actually, but I'm making the videos. I'm going to the gym. I'm coming home, and it feels like when you have doing something, when you have like a freaking like a limp like D, you know what I'm trying to say? Like that's what it feels like when there's just no like energy, no intention, no purpose to what you're doing. And I get it. That happens. That's human biology, right? And there's a point in everyone's lives when they will get complacent. Whether you're someone on self improvement for 3 years like myself, and I've been already on this path, right? Trying to go to the gym, getting bigger in the gym, whatever. Or whether you're someone who's just getting into self improvement and you've been hearing about like a meditation, gym, all this stuff because you realize you want to live a different life and compared to everyone else. Whether you're in the beginner phases or more into the phase, you're gonna hit your level of consistency, right? You're gonna hit your level of complacency. And there's actually that's actually a good thing in a way. I'll explain why, okay? Because when you're in the beginner phase, you don't really see like how far you can go, right? Because you're in the beginner phase, you don't even see your potential or your capability. Like you don't genuinely believe right now, okay? Maybe right now you're getting into self-improvement, you're trying to do your deep work, you're trying to focus on school or whatever, right? Maybe right now you're trying to study, but it's not consistent. Or maybe right now you're trying to hit the gym, but it's not consistent. Or maybe right now you're coming home from a 9 to 5 job or whatever, and you're trying to freaking start your side hustle, but it's not consistent. You're not getting into it, but you have the dreams, you have the ambition, you have the need. Let me tell you this right now. There is a version of you that exists in the future that is doing that. There is a version of you that exists in the future that is pushing big weights in the gym. There is a version of you that's sitting down and doing his deep work and studying and getting good marks. There is that version of you. I'm telling you right now from personal experience, that is inevitable. It will come, but it requires a price. It requires a price. And that price is to give up your current level of complacency. And this is why I'm making this video as a reminder to myself and to you. Every single day, I'm a 21-year-old, bro. I got all the energy in the world. I got all the time in the world. I'm living in a Western country. I'm living in a Western nation. I don't have to worry about, bombs being thrown into my neighborhood or whatever, right? Or maybe it doesn't have to be that extreme, but I don't have to worry about chores and you know what I'm trying to say? So I got all the time in the world. I got all the things in the world, right? All the privileges in the world for me to then go exert my full effort. And so now when I don't do that, I feel like crap. I genuinely feel like crap. I don't feel like I'm pushing. And that hurts me. That genuinely hurts me. Because I'm wasting my day, right? That's what it seems like to me. Like I'm not making the most out of my day because at the end of the day, bro, it's about the quality of things you're putting in. It's about how much effort you put into something. Obviously work hard and smart, but if you're only working smart but not working hard, then you're not going to get the effort as well. You're not going to get the results in life as well, right? Like I have to make sure that I am exerting my full effort. I'll explain more in detail. Like I've been not tracking my calories properly for the past few days. I've been skipping some meals, like in terms of I would be eating something and I'm like, nah, I don't need to track this. Or I'll be eating this, I don't need to track this. And it gets into the point where, for example, yesterday, I don't know how many grams of protein I had. Now, hence, I did go out with my family to eat outside. But even then, I don't know how many grams of protein I had. I don't know if I hit my protein goals. I don't know if I hit my calorie goals, right? I don't know. Or for example, like when I go to the gym, even though I'm working hard in the gym, but I feel like I'm not pushing. Or for example, when I'm making videos, when I used to make videos, it would just be like I turn on the camera and just freaking speak to the camera and there would be no energy, no passion involved. Bro, and okay, you know what? As a young man at the age of 21 who wants to make it, but it feels like I can't be bothered. That's what it feels like right now. I feel like that. I feel like a guy who has ambition, who has goals, but I feel like, oh, I just can't be bothered right now. It's almost as if like you're walking with like -5 testosterone. That's what it feels like. Like genuinely, that's what it feels like. You're just like, let me just like do the habit. Yeah, okay. Instead of let's do the habit. Let's freaking go. Effort. Effort. That's what I want. That's what I need. I want the fire, and I get it. The fire is not gonna last, but what's gonna last is my individual decisions. At the end of the day, as Khabib said, you know, the Khabib, the fighter, right? He said something along the lines of like, bro, when you're in the cage, the people don't care. All they want to see you is win. Maybe in the fighting camp, you broke your toe, you broke your arm, your dad died, you know, God forbid. Anything could have happened in the training camp and it could have saddened you, but the fans don't really care. And so, you know, one thing he did say, which might sound harsh, but nobody cares about you except God. And that's why he's still feeding me and you so that we can still keep going. Think about that for a second. That's freaking deep. Nobody cares about us except God and our parents. I would add parents in there as well because they're taking care of me. At least I could rest at night knowing that I gave it my all. At least I could sleep well at night. Not because I'm tired from the day, but I can sleep well at night knowing that, you know what, like I did what I needed to do. I look at the physique as so much more different than most people. I don't look at the physique as a way to get girls. Sure, that's a nice plus, that's a nice bonus. But I look at the physique as it makes me a better man. It gives me so many more gifts than just getting a nice looking physique. Like there's so much more to a nice physique. I don't look at a YouTube channel as just a means to make money. I used to, and that was my biggest problem. I have to look at a YouTube channel as a means to document this journey so that people can also relate with me, so people can get value from me. And that people are willing to pay out of their pocket for me to help them. That is a big deal. You know, I don't look at like reading as just for me to read and learn so I can share it with you guys. I look at reading as a way for me to develop myself and to go through my challenges and then again, document the journey for you guys. Speak from real life experience because that's what people are waiting for. So right now, bro, when I now sit here complacent and it sucks because like, my dad's still going out working. My dad's still working like all day. And I know I could push farther. I know I could do it more. It freaking burns me. And so this morning I woke up, I realized the way I have to get out of this, the way I have to get out of this is through sacrifice. It's through sacrifice specifically of my comfort. It's to sacrifice of my comfort. It's not a coincidence that it might not seem as harmless when you know, watch a movie at nighttime. It might not seem as harmless, you know, like, oh, it's just a movie, I can still become successful. But there's things in your life that you're gonna do that does not seem that harmless, but it just makes you complacent. You know, when you sacrifice something for a bigger goal, you're actively removing that comfort that kept you safe. And I'm not saying that then you're gonna just, you know, like you're destroying. I'm not saying to destroy yourself, but I'm saying that you need to I need to remove that comfort that's keeping me safe so that then I can go ahead and my body can readjust for the next level of comfort. And the way I plan on sacrificing my comfort is 3 things, and hopefully it's gonna benefit you. I realized that I've been spending way too much time on the freaking screens, especially on my computer. No, I don't even watch many YouTube videos. I just play videos in the background and I don't know what I do. I wake up, I do whatever. I have to edit videos or record or whatever, yeah? And then I just kind of just wait for the gym and I'm kind of still looking at the screen. And then I, you know, go to the gym, come back, I still look at the screen, you know what I'm trying to say. And then I read, I still look at the screen, and then I watch some lectures for my religion, right? I'm a Muslim, so I still look at the screen. So I'm just looking at the screen the entire day, and then when I'm gonna relax, when I'm gonna wind down, I'm still looking at the screen. And one thought I had was like, yo, I'm spending my human waking hours on a freaking screen when life is supposed to be lived, when life is supposed to be experienced. Like I'm taking away my human life energy. My life is limited, and I'm putting it all into a screen. And so one thing that I'm gonna start doing is this, which is I'm gonna imagine myself as a person who doesn't use technology at all. I'm gonna imagine myself as someone who is like a caveman, but he still needs technology for a few things. Obviously, I'm not a caveman, and I don't want to be like super like one of those like guys, you know? But I'm gonna imagine myself as someone who doesn't use much technology. And then when I have a clean slate, when I have a blank slate, a blank canvas, then I'm gonna go ahead and choose, okay, like what social media, what devices and stuff to use, if that makes sense, right? So for example, I might need YouTube for me to learn and also for me to upload videos, right? I might need my laptop so I can edit videos and learn, like what I'm trying to say. So just like when you have a blank slate, then you get to kind of pick and choose like what videos to even watch, what channels to consume, if you're gonna consume any channels, etc. Right? So that's what I've realized, which is like, okay, so number one, I have to reduce time on the screens because, bro, it is freaking uncomfortable. The screens has become like my comfort zone. It's so uncomfortable when you get out of that, like your freaking desk chair, and it's so uncomfortable to sit here by myself. It might not seem like that at the beginning, but once those questions come into your head, those deep questions about like life, about death, about like, that's when it becomes uncomfortable. But I also realized the most successful of people went through the most uncomfortable questions anyway, which led them to making the most out of their life. You see, one of the reasons why most people, they die super mediocre and average without trying to achieve anything in their life is because they haven't gone through the uncomfortable questions of life. They ran away from it. And that's why they couldn't make the most out of it. I was watching a course by Yale University, by an instructor at Yale University, a professor, and it was literally the happiness course. And I think she was talking about an experiment of what some professor did. The professor was asking the class, if you had like a certain amount of days to live, what would you do? Like imagine like you knew that you're gonna like the doctors told you something. Obviously it's up to God, but the doctors told you like you have 30 days or like something, right? So what would you do once you know like you have a deadline to live, right? Obviously, once the students visualized that and they like understood it, it was a tough freaking question, but then they realized, okay, like I would probably go and talk to my parents. I would probably go and apologize and spend the most time with people, with family, with friends. That was the biggest thing. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna spend the most time in a freaking Dubai yacht. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, right? Like it's not like I'm gonna drive my Bugatti Chiron all over the city. Like that wasn't. When you know you're about to die, you're gonna go spend time with your family. You're gonna go spend time with your friends. We're gonna go spend time saying goodbye and just praying and stuff like that. It genuinely, right? Again, there's nothing wrong with buying a nice car. Like, bro, I want a nice car, bro. And hopefully by 2026, you're gonna see a sick one. Right? I'm gonna document the entire journey, anyways. So subscribe if you want to join in. I'll obviously work in with me as well. But those things are cool. But it's not like the be all end all of life. It's not. So at the end of the day, like this goes to show, like when the students understood like the difficult questions of life, then they're like, you know what, bro, F this. Like I gotta go and like, like genuinely spend time with my family and stuff like that. That's what makes a meaningful life. You see, meaningful life will come from a deep question that shifted the way that they perceived life. But most people, like myself even, we run away from the hard questions, bro. We run away from the difficult situations, and these difficult situations will definitely come when you're alone, when you're not really consuming, and when you're not on the screen. And so it is uncomfortable as heck to not consume, not to mention the dopamine, right? So that's number one. Number two is just to add more quality in my day. Okay, so what that means is like exert more effort in the videos I create for you guys. Exert more effort in my gym, exert more effort in trying to make sure that I'm tracking everything I'm trying to eat. Exert more effort when it comes to reading and actually learning, and even if it's hard, even if I want to watch a video, no, but I'm gonna read. Exert more effort when it comes to watching lectures. Don't just watch a lecture. Go ahead and ask yourself questions, be curious and learn and deep dive, stuff like this, right? Exert more effort, because I realize that if you want to make your life hard, you can do so right now. You don't have to wait for something else to make it hard. You don't have to wait for a death of a loved one to make your life hard. You don't have to wait for, an injury to make your life hard. You don't have to wait for getting an F minus. I was going to say F plus. You don't have to wait for an F or a D minus or D plus on your report card, on your test, on your exam to make your life hard. You can make your life hard today so that you can have a better life tomorrow, right? You don't have to wait for calamities to make your life hard. And that's what I've realized, that you can exert more effort, and the more effort you put in, the more God rewards you. So I'm going to start doing that, and I'm going to start putting in more effort when it comes to the work I'm doing. and hopefully my YouTube videos will be much, much better. I'll be more energetic. I'll be more passionate about what I talk about. So this is something that I'm gonna really try doing with everything I'm doing. And also number three, the third one is, you know what, removing or sacrificing external stimuli that take me away from my mission. You know, I'll make a video about this, but I did cut off my friends, my best friends, like 3 years ago. I cut them off. And the reason why I cut them off is because of this very reason. We had different journeys in life and we were trying to go on a different path. I realized that I wanted to make money. I realized that I wanted to, you know, not fall into the matrix. I realized that I'm not just gonna fool around. I'm gonna be a successful man. Like, that's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. And so, with the permission of God and with God's mercy, like, you know, I had to cut the people off that were taking me away from that. I tried to like still hang around with them. I still tried to, you know, work things out. But I realized like every single time I would be with them, I would not go to the gym, for example. I would not be studying. I would not be working on the business. I would be just kind of doing nothing. And not to mention also the things that we talk about would always take me away from my mission and my purpose. And, you know, it comes a point in life when all you care about is your mission and your purpose. All you care about is just becoming the best. Like, my entire day is just trying to make my future self better. And so if you don't have friends that are reminding you of that, that might be a good time to at least talk to them and tell them, and most of them are going to be very negative. Most of them are not going to be supportive. Most of your friends will not be supportive of what you do. Let me explain this to you. Most of your friends don't want you to succeed, even if it seems like it. Unless you have friends who are trying to succeed themselves, obviously, right? But if you have friends that are freaking smoking weed and jerking off and playing games all day and all night, and then now you want to go up to them and tell them, yo, bro, I want to be a businessman, yo, let's work on it. They're going to be like, yo, what are you trying to do? Like they're not going to be serious about it. And they're going to be envious of you. They're going to be envious of you because of the fact that that's how human biology works. When we're in a tribe, right? Remember, like, we're tribal, right? When we're in a tribe and someone from your tribe is trying to do something that is contrary to what the tribe has been doing, that's an insult to the tribe. If I do this like this way, if the tribe is at level 5, but then this person's like, yeah, I want to level up, I want to get stronger. And so he comes to everyone, he's like, no, I'm going to leave this tribe, or I'm going to get stronger. Everyone's going to be like, yo, who do you think you are? You know, who do you think you are? This is why your family, like maybe your cousins and stuff like that, and also your friends, they will not support your journey to success as much as you believe, because they take that as an insult. They think that you're better than them. That's how human biology works. Your job is not to care about or to be better than anyone, but a better version of yourself. Your job is to make the decisions that are aligning with your favor and your future and your dedication to God and your purpose. At the end of the day, bro, we got limited time on this earth, and I'm not gonna sit around and just do things for other people if it's not benefiting me. At the end of the day, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna be in my freaking grave alone. So why would I then sacrifice my life, my human time and waking hours for other people when I'm not benefiting and I'm not contributing to my future? I realized that I'm gonna also cut down the external stimuli. So I have a group of friends. I have a very small group of friends, but I love them so much. Like, they're great people, and I'm not gonna cut them off. What the heck? But what I did tell them, actually, one of them at least, I told one of my friends that, you know, let's talk about more self-improvement related things. You know, let's stop the brain rot, and let's talk about, you know, our religion. We share the same religion. You know, let's talk about our goals. Let's talk about the fitness. Let's talk about more self-improvement, because that's what we're trying to get to. You know. I don't watch the news, for example. I stopped watching that like so long ago because it's all freaking propaganda and stuff like that, right? I stopped watching a lot of these entertainment videos, even though they're fun to watch, but I have to sacrifice some things if I want to go think about my purpose and think about, you know, this. So how does this apply to you? To end up this video, we all have a certain level of complacency. So you can literally take what I'm doing as a template and add it to your life, obviously in a different way. So maybe right now, you're waking up at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., well, let's try to wake up at 6 a.m. Let's add that. You know, if you're watching external stimuli that's keeping you weak, that's keeping you distracted from your purpose, well, let's get rid of those. You know, maybe friends, like maybe talk to your friends about it. Tell your friends about it. If you're in a situation, maybe, I don't know, like in a university situation, you got to make the sacrifices there. what? Because university is a place where you're gonna get distracted. I get distracted in university from friends. There's freaking girls walking around, and like you get this urge. You know what? Let me just go up to the girl and freaking ask her out, or like get a number. Like it's just so many distractions and BS. I kind of just want to sometimes lock myself in a room and just work. Obviously, that's not healthy. Social friendship is very important, but just make sure you have friends that are benefiting you. I guess you can ask yourself, how can I add more quality? How can I add more quality to the work I'm doing, to my job that I'm working in, to the school work I have, to the business I'm trying to create? How can I add more quality? And let me explain. If you are trying to do this without realizing and understanding that this will come with pain, but that's the point. You sacrifice because it is painful, and that pain will push you farther, and it will push you. You have to get past the pain to become stronger. So if you're gonna sacrifice expecting no pain, that's retarded, right? That's dumb. Expect the pain, but push for the pain. You need the pain. The pain is what builds us as men. And so to end up this video, that's how I'm gonna, get back on track. I'm sorry I'm sick, guys. So but hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want to follow on my journey to becoming the best version of myself, to become absolutely capable, I just want to become my most capable self. I want to become my most valuable self, and I want to become a new man. A version of me has skill sets, that is charismatic, that is confident, that is just his best self, and to build a lifestyle. I'll definitely be making a video about the lifestyle we're trying to get to, the type of man that we're trying to become, because I think that's very important. But other than that, boys, hopefully this helped you and benefited you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.